this slow. Can't really get this slow. Can't get this slow.
you want a man for president who's seasoned through and through, but that's a doggone season that he won't try something new? A man who's old enough to know
and young enough to do?
Well, it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you. But it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me.
Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Do you want a man with spirit who is not afraid to fight?
A man whose record shows that he will fight for what is right.
A loyal man who'll bring the job a fresh new point of view. Well, it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you. 'Cause it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me.
Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
And do you deny to any man the right he's guaranteed to be elected president, no matter what his creed?
It's promised in the Bill of Rights, to which we must be true.
So it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you. And it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me.
Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Do you like a man who answers straight, a man who's always fair? We'll measure him against the others, and when you compare, you'll cast your vote for Kennedy and the change that's overdue. So it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you. Yes, it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me. Kennedy, 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 Kennedy,
Welcome from my humble blah, blah, blah. Let's try that again. Hey, human, just a guy here, just a regular guy, nothing special, just me. And especially when, you're doing, you fancy yourself a pretty smart radio dude, and then you try to dive into your opening and it just sort of word salads all over yourself. I should have wore a bib before that one, right? Anyway, welcome. From my humble second bedroom here in the Saucon Valley, part of the Lehigh Valley, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, part of these United States, at least for a few more days. We'll see how the election goes, whether the Commonwealth tears itself apart or not, depending on the results. Western Hemisphere, North American continent on this planet Earth, still the only one we have. Third rock from the sun in the Terran solar system, part of the Milky Way galaxy. This is TKE Tonight for the 30th of October, 2024. Holy heck, the 30th. Wowee. What I wanted to let you know really quick, and I know that these things fascinate me. I don't know that they always, I don't know that they always fascinate you, but they fascinate me. And let me just say, today in the Lehigh Valley here, it was truly spectacular. It's the 30th of October today, the 30th. Tomorrow is Halloween. Tomorrow's trick or treat in our municipalities here. I spent most of the day in a t-shirt and shorts. Tomorrow it is supposed to be 82 degrees. And Friday, 77. And then next week, next Tuesday, election day, sunny and 76. 76 Wednesday. And in the 60s, pretty much all the rest. We're going to get into, realize that the longer you stretch out a forecast, the less accurate it becomes. You can really only go so far out with a good sense of accuracy. But we're looking at getting into the middle of November. The middle of November. With temperatures, daytime temperatures in the 60s. Now, the nighttime temperatures are going to feel very wintry. 30s, 40s, as they should, by the way. But daytime temps in the 80s, 70s, and 60s for like the next 2 weeks. I mean, the climate has changed and continues to do so. This is a real thing, kids. It's a real thing. Apologies for the quick swig so quick. I am absolutely dried out. Not sure what's wrong. Finally going to the doctor on Friday. We'll see how bad. You know, Mike wants to talk about doom scrolling. Doctor's appointment. That'll be doom scrolling. Not much of this works. Probably less of it works as it should than doesn't. But whole different topic for a different day. You are watching us live on the Facebook pages of the TCP Media Group, Our Revolution Pennsylvania, and almost forgot me noises. Kind of drowns out some of the voices in my brain. I'm kidding. We're live on the Facebook pages of the TCP Media Group, Our Revolution Pennsylvania, my own, and of course Ghost Claw Productions, my own personal Facebook, as I point down to the corner of my square, as if you have any idea what the heck I'm pointing at, which is kind of ridiculous. So there's that. And of course, our home group Facebook page for all things that surround this program, that other side of information. It's also the name of our YouTube channel where we are live right now. We're also live on Twitch, Jeff R. Kennedy. We are live on my LinkedIn, Jeff Kennedy. And of course, the audio of the program blasting around the globe via the internet radio station that I am very humbled and proud to be co-owner, partner, part owner, family, all of that. GCPR.live. The link is in the chat. GCPR.live. GCPR.live. Ghost Claw Productions Radio.live. GCPR.live. Conversations with T. Nathan comes up from 11 p.m. on GCPR, 11 p.m. Eastern. All times are Eastern unless otherwise denoted. 11 p.m. Eastern Time, Conversations with T. Nathan. Thomas returns tomorrow morning with the sound of coffee, and we have every expectation that we will be with you again tomorrow night. I realize that doing what I do, or doing what I try to do here, not being here is a pretty bad thing, but I am on call this week and had to work a bit last night and just simply could not get to you. Between that and health and all that other fun stuff, I know it's really taken a chunk out of our broadcast schedule. This is exactly when we should be here. Let's just be honest. We're at crunch time now. We are really down to crunch time, and this is when we need to get together and say hello, talk to each other, or at least I hope you feel that way too. And I have to say, it hasn't been easy. But I appreciate that you are here. It means a lot. Your continued support of the program is so terribly, terribly appreciated. I mean, it's just so deeply appreciated. And I mean it, that every single one of you, every single individual just means a lot. We're not, every time that I broadcast, I have the ability, maybe ability would be the right way to say. Doesn't mean that all these folks are listening at the same time, but the number of people that we can reach in any given broadcast is in the millions. If you put all the Facebook groups together, the LinkedIn, the Twitch, the YouTube, GCPR, which is, I mean, if you can log on to the internet, you can listen to GCPR. It's literally millions of people that we could reach. Doesn't mean that millions of people are listening, but we can reach them. They can access us. And it doesn't matter. that's a pretty impressive number. I guess it's a little self-inflating, and I don't mean it to be that way. I'm just saying, hey, we must be doing something right. We can reach that many people. But to every single individual here that joins us, especially the ones that join us every night, which is just I'm not worthy of that kind of loyalty. I'm not that smart. I assure you I am not terribly special. Like really not very special. Just a regular dude trying to do what I think is the right thing to do and trying to help and just trying to have conversations with you all. And I just hope you continue to stay with us. I hope you continue to support us. I hope you'll check out GCPR. I hope you check out all the different shows on GCPR. And thank you for being here. Thanks for being part of the family. We deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate it. We could not do this without you. Anybody can flip on a computer and broadcast around the globe now. But still, you can't do it for too long if nobody's listening. And you are, and it means a lot. And I'm very, very grateful. So let me say hello to everybody again. Let's get, why don't we dive into a couple of the quickie comments. I don't know who this is because Streamlabs stopped allowing me to know who said this. Oh, Mike says, by the way, I installed the Go Live app. So you don't have to hold the phone with the phone. Well, we'll have to try that at some point. I must be very blunt with you, Mike. I don't have a clue what you're talking about. And I'm not afraid to say it. I'm a little embarrassed to say it. I kind of feel like I should know, but I don't. And okay, we'll give it a shot at some point. We'll try to get through the top story of the day, and then let's give it a go. I have no idea how that works or what app you're even talking about. But hey, no worries. We'll learn. We'll learn together. Not a problem. I want to say this is Mike. No, this is Randall. Climate change deniers, who also deny. Yep, the people who most deny global climate change are the ones who caused it. The very first articles about climate change and scientific studies about climate change began to be published in. Anybody would hazard a guess? Never mind, I'll tell you. Oh, actually, you can put guesses in the chat. I mean, I guess after the 10-second delay, they'll get to you. But the first scientific studies, articles, pieces, and so on began to be published about global climate change in the late 1800s. In fact, I'd like to say I think that the very first article was 1896, but I am working from memory. And it was a very, if you will, albeit scientific and studied, it was also a bit, dare I say, common sense rudimentary. That even in the late 1800s, folks knew that the exhaust, if you will, from burning coal, oil, wood was still a big fuel source even in the late 1800s. Not so much natural gas. It wasn't terribly used that much, other than, no exaggeration, the street lamps. But the burning of oil increasingly, coal especially, wood, the burning of fossil fuels, and you could kind of consider. I guess you could consider wood. I guess you could consider wood a natural fuel, not really a fossil fuel, but regardless, that these were greenhouse gases. These were gases that were going to cloud and fill the atmosphere and help retain heat. I have to go to work. I got to go, folks. I have to work. I got to go to work. Got to go. I will see you maybe in a few minutes. I honestly don't know. I got to go to work. I was due I made it so far this week. Wasn't going to last much longer. Okay, gang, have an excellent night. Talk to you. Wait, meeting changed. Oh, push back. Okay. I might not have to do this right this second. But I will have to end this program sooner than later because I'm going to have to go to work again. First articles appeared in the late 1800s. Folks knew that these were greenhouse gases, that they were going to cloud, not so much cloud, but help retain heat in the atmosphere, and that eventually, as these gases became more and more content in the atmosphere, that it was going to change things. 1896. I'm pretty sure I have that right. 1896. In the late 50s, scientists, climate scientists, and scientists generally, that were employed by ESSO, ESSO, which was the name of Exxon before it became Exxon. They began to publish papers that said, we are already changing the climate and we're seeing those changes, and we will only continue to do it if we continue to burn. And then, these captains of industry, these people who are supposedly so smart that they run the global economy, couldn't think to themselves at that point, why don't we take 1%, 2%, 5% and move ourselves into a green energy company? ESSO would have dominated green energy around the planet because the U.S. was the largest industrial power at that time. But they didn't. They decided to deny that it was actually happening so they could just keep drilling and burning and drilling and burning. And here we are. The planet has already been irrevocably changed. We can mitigate that change. We can try to make sure that it doesn't get beyond a point where we will cause our own extinction and the extinction of most life on this planet. But the change is irreparable and irrevocable. But we can make a conscious decision not to make it worse. Let me get very, very, very quickly to the only big story that I really wanted to get to tonight, and then I must go. I have to go to work. This is from the Associated Press. Mark Sherman and Denise Lavoie. I think that's how you say that. Lavoie. I'm going to go with Lavoie. Supreme Court's conservative justices leave in place Virginia's purge of voter registrations. The Supreme Court's conservative majority on Wednesday left in place Virginia's purge of voter registrations that the state says is aimed to stopping people who are not U.S. citizens from voting. One Virginian whose registration was canceled despite living in the state her entire life. Called the purge a very bad October surprise. The High Court, over the dissents of the three liberal justices, and I would even say liberal, you're just following, three follow the law, six make it up as they were paid to do. Granted, the High Court, over the dissents of the three liberal justices, granted an emergency appeal from Virginia's Republican administration, led by Governor Glenn Youngkin. The court provided no rationale for its action, which is typical in emergency appeals. The justices acted on Virginia's appeal after a federal judge found the state illegally purged over 1,600 voter registrations in the past 2 months. Federal appeals court had previously allowed the judge's order to remain in effect. It is already illegal to vote if you are not legal to vote. It is punishable with jail time and heavy, heavy fines. Here's the Republicans using something. When it comes to gun law, they love to talk about, well, enforce the law. We already have hundreds of gun laws. We already have laws about voting if you're not eligible. It's illegal. Here we are trying to make the illegal more illegal because it scares people. It breaks their faith in the system. But what it also does is allow them to purge people of color, because, by the way, they tend to vote for Democratic. We can't win elections on issues. These are the quiet conversations that go on in the big money, old-fashioned smoke-filled rooms in Republican billionaire circles. They can't win elections on issues because they have no solutions. They can't win them on the leadership of their candidates because they don't have any. They have cartoon characters and TV personalities. So when you can't get more people to vote for you than the other side, reduce the number of people on the other side. That's entirely what this is. And the Supreme Court now has proved, if it hadn't proved it already, they certainly proved it again today. The federal court, the appeals court, all said that this was flat out illegal. The 6 Republicans on the Supreme Court, the corporate-owned Supreme Court, said, no, go ahead, and gave no rationale for it because they don't have any. They don't have any rationale. None. So, Mike will accuse me of doom scrolling again, and I get a giggle out of that. It's funny, and I understand why he feels that way. I don't agree, but I understand it, and that's awesome. That we can agree to disagree and still be friendly and so on. But this is what we're going to see, I think, for the next few weeks. Today is essentially done. We're 5 full days away from the end of this cycle. But I think for a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think these court cases could drag into December. We're going to see it. We're going to see a flood of litigation. I still believe in my heart Vice President Harris is going to win this election by 10 to 12 million votes. But will she win the Electoral College? And if she does win the Electoral College, it'll be by a squeaker. But even if Vice President Harris had a 1984 Reagan-style win, 49 states, Trump would it's still going to be litigation and anger and threats of civil war and these so-called militias armed to the teeth, ready to kill people who are counting votes. Sadly, it's not going to go away. This was my big story of the day. I actually was not prepared to cut the program short, but I don't have a chance. I don't have a choice. I must go to work and fix something for people who don't know what they're doing. Surprise, surprise. So forgive me, but I need to bail. I hate to do it, but it is what it is. I have a job that pays the bills. This one is not that one. So I'm going to have to get this taken care of. If George was here, return the show over to him for a brief few minutes. I simply cannot wait. I must get to work. So I will bid you all farewell for tonight. We will reconvene tomorrow. Conversations with T. Nathan from 11, Thomas in the morning. My apologies to you, but duty calls. Please have a great night. Please remember what I said to all of you, to each and every single one of you that takes in the program. Thank you so very, very much. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. Please continue to check out our website, gcpr.live. Please share it. Please tell people about it. A special thank you to the listeners outside the United States. And I think that's about all I can really do for right now. I'm so very sorry. I got to go get to work. Thanks so much. We will see you tomorrow.